filed formal charges of discrimination against the Grand Rapids Police Department in response to 2 separate complaints of discrimination filed with our department. The community concerned about bias and discriminatory actions on the part of the Grand Rapids Police Department did not begin with the killing of Patrick Leoya this past April. The Department of Civil Rights recognized in 2019 that the alleged instances of bias and discrimination had reached a level of specific concern, prompting this department to hold 2 heavily attended public listening sessions in Grand Rapids. In total, more than 80 individuals shared their experiences with the GRPD in those sessions. At that time and in the years since, dozens of individuals have filed complaints of discrimination against the GRPD. Currently, the department is actively investigating a total of 28 complaints against the police department here in Grand Rapids. The process of impartially investigating a complaint of discrimination is painstakingly long and can take months or years to complete. In this instance, progress in investigating the numerous complaints filed against the department was slowed by other instances not within our control, but regardless, our work continued. Our investigators diligently continue to gather evidence, conduct interviews, and do the tough and time-consuming work necessary to reach a fair and unbiased conclusion in each and every complaint. The specifics of the complaints. Complaint 485609 alleges unequal treatment by the Grand Rapids Police Department of Honesty Hodges on December 6, 2017. Police were in pursuit of a middle-aged white woman who was a suspect in an attempted murder. Officers pointed their weapons at Honesty, who was black, as she exited a house they had under surveillance and placed her in handcuffs in a police cruiser. Honesty at the time was an 11-year-old juvenile who did not fit the description of the suspect, was compliant, visibly afraid, and in tears. The Grand Rapids Police Department was unable to show evidence of white children who were held at gunpoint, handcuffed, searched, placed in a squad car, and questioned. In this case, during the search for an adult suspect of an entirely different race. The Grand Rapids Police Department provided no evidence that they treat individuals of another race the same in similar circumstances. Complaint 610406, filed by Melissa Mason, was in response to a traffic stop on January 20th, 2020. Officers of the Grand Rapids Police Department stopped Mason, who is black, and was driving with 3 children for an expired plate. Even though reports show Mason was compliant with officers, she was removed from her car, handcuffed, and was held in a police cruiser for approximately 20 minutes. In the process of our investigation, as in the previously described complaint, the Grand Rapids Police Department was unable to demonstrate that people of another race in similar situations were treated the same as Melissa Mason by their officers. Going forward, an administrative law judge will hold a proceeding to consider all the evidence and will make a recommendation on whether the evidence shows discriminatory action occurred and what penalty should be levied in response. The Michigan Civil Rights Commission will then conduct their own hearing to consider those recommendations and make a final determination, which could include ordering corrective action and/or ordering monetary damages. If they agree with the determination that discrimination did occur, through the effort to do our due diligence in investigating the dozens of complaints against the GRPD has faced significant hurdles and will continue. This is the work we are constitutionally mandated to do, and we are committed to a fair and impartial investigation of every complaint before us.